Bienvenidos, dueños, dueñas. Mi nombre es María Gargari, fundadora de la comunidad del Perro Más Feliz. Y estoy muy emocionada porque tengo dos invitados súper especiales. Son Larry y Charlie de Rawstruck. Y nos van a estar contando cosas increíbles. Ellos viven en Dubái, tienen una perrita Milka y nos van a contar todo acerca de alimentación natural en el Medio Oriente. Guys, how are you doing? I'm super happy and pumped to have you here. How are you?
Hola, ¿qué
Hola,
tal?
¿cómo está? We are so excited. Wow,
Yeah.
we're really happy. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much for having us.
Oh, thank you guys. Well, the idea would be for us to know who you guys are, what are you doing, why are you raw feeding Milka? Tell us everything about you.
Yeah.
So, should I start? Or
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
So we are pet parents, just like probably most of the audience that is watching right now. We have a little Frenchie over here. That's our dog. And she inspired us many years ago to start raw feeding and feeding her fresh food because she had some health issues. Especially like she had an upset stomach all the time, so she was throwing up a lot. So after some time that like feeding her or switching to a raw food diet was pretty much the only thing that helped. And when we did that, we just were like, wow, we just this whole new world just opened to us, and we were like, wow, we have to talk about this, we have to like advocate, and we have to raise awareness about this, what's happening in the pet food world and in the pet industry. And that's how Rawstruck
Eventually
happened.
Came about,
So that's why we started making videos for pet parents like you guys to just try and raise awareness all together, because the more people share it, the more awareness is raised on just, what we can do, the small things we can do to make our pets healthier. It doesn't always have to be a 100% raw diet. It can be a little bit of raw food. It can be as simple as using natural cleaners in your home, using natural flea and tick repellents, like all these kind of things we try to raise awareness about. And it's awesome. We're having a lot of fun doing it.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys. So, lo que nos está contando Charlie es que ellos empezaron a dar alimentación natural a sus perros por Milka. Su perrita tenía muchos problemas del estómago, muy recurrentes. Entonces ellos empezaron a cambiar la dieta y eso fue lo que los inspiró a compartir toda esta jornada, todo este viaje emocionante para poder inspirar a otros pet parents para darles una alimentación natural cruda y hacerlo lo mejor posible. So guys, this is super inspiring. So you guys live in Dubai, guys. This is super exciting for me because I'm in Mexico. My audience is from Latin America, Spain, and the US also, Spanish-speaking people. So it's really interesting to know other inputs. So I would like to ask you guys, what is it like to raw feed your dog in the Middle East?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Sometimes there's some downsides because most of the information around raw feeding comes from the US and it comes from the UK and
the recipes.
All the recipes, it comes from these areas of the world. And some of these ingredients we're not able to source. So sometimes it can be frustrating, but at the same time, we have different types of proteins that these countries don't have. So for example, we have access to camel, like free range camel, and we have access to gazelle and what we would consider to be
ostrich.
Exotic proteins. So it's pretty cool and to feed these type of foods to Milka that other people can't say they can feed.
But we also do have to make a lot of compromises because certain organ meats are just not available because we don't grow meat here, so it's all imported mostly. We have to do the best with what we have, like everybody else. So but it's going great.
This is super interesting, guys. That the same thing happens to me in Mexico. We have other types of, maybe not protein, we have more or less the same as in the US, but we eat other things like other herbs, other fruits, other vegetables, other spices. My dogs eat chili powder. You know, it's really spicy, but they're used to it because they're puppies. I will feed them. So, what are some ingredients besides proteins that you can tell us about that are available in Dubai and that are super good to your dog?
Yeah, for sure. So we actually just did a video. We made the first ever Arabic dog food recipe with Rodney and Dr. Becca. Yeah, and the inspiration was because here in Dubai, in the Middle East, we do use a lot of spices generally in people food, and we all have these spices in our cupboard, and a lot of people in America or in Mexico have these spices as well, but we just don't use them for our dogs because we don't know that our dogs can eat them. So the reason to come up with this recipe was kind of to be like, okay, your dog can eat these spices as well. So one of them is cumin. Cumin is super good for dogs. It's good for digestive upset and for food pathogens as well, actually. And the other one was cinnamon. We used cinnamon, which smells so good and makes the raw food smell so much better. And so good for their health as well. Then things like sesame seeds and
turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric we used. What else do we usually use in her food? Like chia seeds, but that's not really Arabic inspired.
I think
parsley.
Yes,
exactly. We use a lot of parsley, actually.
Parsley. We do use a lot of parsley, and parsley is a staple in the Middle East. Like
parsley.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, chicos, lo que ellos nos están contando, justamente les pregunto, ¿qué tipo de alimentos tienen en Dubái que son diferentes a otros lugares del mundo? Entonces me cuentan que ellos tienen otras proteínas, por ejemplo, camello, carne de camello fresca, tienen gacelas, tienen avestruz, todo eso se lo pueden dar a su perra. Y además las especias. Como ustedes saben, el Medio Oriente es muy famoso por las especias y ellos han incluido en la dieta de su perra, por ejemplo, comino, canela, cúrcuma y otras especies que son buenísimas para la salud de su perro. Entonces, chicos, lo mismo nos pasa en América Latina. Hay muchos ingredientes que no utilizamos y que es maravilloso utilizar en la dieta de nuestros perros y por eso tenemos que seguirnos informando. So, guys, after this translation, this question I'd like to ask you guys is other cultural aspects that you find interesting about raw feeding or about dogs in general or pets that are interesting for you that you've learned in Dubai?
So when we first came here, Dubai was very different. Like we only came 4 years ago, but in those 4 years, a lot has changed regarding dogs because when we first came, it was a lot of adjustment for us because we come from Germany where we can take our dog to the mall and to every single restaurant inside, and you can literally like take your dog everywhere. And over here, we had to get used to not being able to do that anymore. But now there has been a lot of change. Dog parks are popping up everywhere. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to like socialize our dogs now. More and more restaurants are becoming more dog friendly. You can take your dogs outside. So that's really great. But generally, I think people go on a lot of adventures with their dogs over here. Like we go to the desert at least 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you know, because it's just like right here. And it's really awesome. And it's just like you're all by yourself just with your dog. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, for sure. I would say this.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, les pregunté que cuáles son algunas diferencias culturales que notan de cómo se trata a los perros en Dubái. Y lo que me dicen es que hace 4 años que ellos llegaron, las cosas eran diferentes, no eran tan abiertos los espacios. Ellos vienen de Alemania, donde había mucha más facilidad para llevar a sus perros a todos lados. Pero ahora, cada vez más en Dubái, se abren espacios pet friendly, dog friendly, para llevar a tu perro. Y sobre todo ellos tienen acceso a la naturaleza, como es el desierto. Y los llevan 2 veces por semana a correr y a estar felices ahí. So I was telling them about the desert thing, because that's amazing. I've seen your Insta stories and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, just like camels passing by and Milka in the background.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's pretty cool, guys. Okay, great. So, is it expensive to raw feed your dogs in Dubai?
No, not really, I would say. I mean,
it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Like, from when we first switched, we did feel like it was very expensive because, of course, if you're switching from dry food to raw food, it is more expensive. Okay. But we personally, our experience was that once we did switch from dry food to raw food, our vet bills have dramatically decreased.
Yeah.
So before, when we were feeding dry food, we were going to the vet like at least 3 times a year. And ever since, and that's not even a lot considered, like if we're talking to other people. And ever since we switched to raw, we're only going once a year for blood tests. So like it actually evens out for us personally, because now the money that we used to use in vet bills, we now use for her food, which is much better in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there are ways to make raw feeding more affordable. For example, we have a fish market here where we can get like really great fresh fish, wild caught like sardines, and they're really not expensive. Yeah. So like, using, I always think like do whatever you can, because even if you can only feed 20% raw or 50% raw, like the more raw you can add, the better. And you will start to see your dog change and the benefits that your dog will get from it. And like, for some people, it's a slow transition. So like, and then the same with the ingredients. Like, that's why I love do-it-yourself raw, because you can really make it as affordable as you want, or you can make it as high quality and as expensive as you want. So it's quite, you have a lot of range.
Yeah, So, les preguntaba si es caro alimentar a sus perros de forma natural en Dubái. Y lo que me dice es que sí y no. Por un lado no, porque han gastado menos en veterinarios y ese dinero lo utilizan para comida. Y sobre todo porque tú tienes la libertad de decidir qué ingredientes le das a tu perro, si son más naturales, menos naturales, y tienes todo un rango de elección, cosa que no tienes con el alimento seco y procesado. So, yeah, so that's super interesting. One thing I want to let you know is that here in Mexico and in Latin America, raw feeding your dog is actually cheaper.
Oh,
it's actually
wow.
cheaper. Yeah, because you get good quality meats, vegetables. Yeah. We produce all of the U.S. fruit and vegetables. So it's funny because I spend, for my 2 dogs, I have a German Shepherd and a Golden Retriever. I spend every week, like, let me do the conversion, about $15 for the 2 dogs per week.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's amazing.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Of course. Yeah, I can't find a lot of ingredients. For example, raw goat's milk. Oh my God, I can't find it. I can't find it.
Yeah.
But I do find other things that are very good for them. I find rabbit, pork, chicken, fish, whatever, most proteins. So it's really funny because kibble is super expensive here because it's super processed, and this I don't know, they make it I think they make some of them in the US and bring it to Mexico as an importation. And the other is made in Mexico. Like Mars have a really big company in, well, not a company, a factory here in Mexico.
Factory, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but I don't know. The thing is that it's cheaper. So I'm telling people, you need to raw feed your dog and save money.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's the I wish it was cool. Like that over here.
I know. Okay, so les preguntaba acerca de los precios, qué es lo que pasa. Y les cuento que en México y en América Latina es mucho más barato, chicos, darle una alimentación natural a tu perro. 100% más barato. Yo me gasto en mis 2 perros, pastor alemán y golden retriever, como 300 pesos mexicanos, que son 15 dólares americanos por semana máximo. Y bueno, estamos platicando de cómo allá es más caro, hay gente que hay que convencerla, que necesita más argumentos de cambiar la dieta de su perro, pero si en América Latina tenemos la opción de dar una alimentación más barata, más económica, más fresca, debemos de hacerlo. Definitely. Okay. Okay, guys. So what is your community about, guys? Obviously, it's about raw feeding your dogs, but what is your focus? Where do you want to get with your community?
Our community really focuses on, raw feeding, first of all, but just a whole approach on kind of pet wellness. So like it's not just raw feeding, it's also like when and what kind of medicine do we use, what kind of tick and flea repellent do we use, the chemicals or the cleaners in our house, and just really trying to spread awareness and kind of get everybody to think twice before you use something in or on your dog or around your dog or your cat or your other pet. So just really and trying to make it fun and relatable at the same time, because we do go around to the experts, and we do do interviews with the experts on the topics as well. But we always try to make it fun and try to like build a story around it, because at the end, like we need to spread the word, and people, I hope people find it shareable and want to spread the word with us, because that's what's really important for us, like people wanting to spread the word with us.
Okay, so les estaba preguntando que hacia dónde va su comunidad. Su comunidad es justamente, está enfocada en pet parents para aprender a darles a sus perros una mejor vida, pero en lo general, no solo alimentación, repelentes, medicamentos, todo lo que engloba la salud de tu perro. Y a donde ellos quieren llegar es que la alimentación natural sea algo divertido, sea algo que pueden compartir como una historia, que no sea algo difícil, sino hacerlo fácil para ellos. Right now, guys, what would be a final message you'd like to share with pet parents around the world, and especially those of us who speak in Spanish? What would be your message, guys?
I would say, number one, our pets are the most important thing to us, and we want to do right by them, and we want to let everyone know that they should always want more information on how to raise a healthier pet.
And I think what's very important to know is that as little as 20% of fresh food already dramatically decreases disease markers in dogs, and that was a study that showed that. So you can see that a little bit of change makes such a big impact already. So whatever you can do is good. Like it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
And I just want to add one more thing, just like that's related to this question, but I want to say that social media is actually our biggest platform for like encouraging people to feed a fresh diet, because there are no ads on TV to feed fresh food to your dog. Even though we know that it's healthier, like you will see dry food companies taking out commercials and they do the marketing, you know, and that's why people believe that it's better, you know, because of marketing. But social media for us is our biggest platform. And I see it every day. I see like more and more people, you know, feeding like better food to their dog just because of what they're seeing on social media. And it's also backed by integrative veterinarians too. So it's not just us, you know, the experts are like advising of this on social media. So I think like, even if you don't need to be an expert or a vlogger to talk about this, take a picture, you know, take a picture of it. You will encourage somebody else to, you know, do the same thing. And that's how we get more pets to be healthier.
Yeah, I love it. So, les estaba preguntando que cuál sería un mensaje final para todos ustedes, dueños, dueñas que nos están escuchando. Y nos decía Charlie que es muy importante siempre informarte, hacerlo mejor. Puedes cambiar la vida de tu perro. Ellos hicieron un documental sobre cáncer en Estados Unidos hace unos años y tuvieron resultados muy buenos. La cuestión es que algunas personas se enojaban, otros les agradecían, pero en general estaban impactando la vida y hablando de un tema que necesita ser hablado para salvar las vidas de los perros. Otra cosa importante que nos dice Larry es cómo el social media, o sea, el internet, Facebook, Instagram o cualquier plataforma puede ayudar a cambiar la vida de una persona. Y si no eres blogger, si no eres famoso, no importa, sube la foto, compártela, haz que llegue a más personas y que puedan empezar a pensar diferente. Guys, this is so inspiring. I love it. Thank you so much for your time. I don't have right now any more questions, but if my audience gives me more questions, I'll let you know. I'll send them to you so you can reply back if you want.
Yeah.
And I just gotta thank you guys for being here. Thank you for what you're doing. I love our time here, and I hope to meet you in person soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing.
Thank you for everything that you are doing as well.
Yeah. And then doing it in Spanish.
Exactly.
That's commendable.
It's really cool, yeah.
Because I know a lot of in English and you have to translate it.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you did a fantastic job doing the translation right away, like back and forth. That was amazing.
I understand a little bit of Spanish, so I can.
Okay, guys. So thank you very much for being here. So, guys, how can people find you on the internet?
So we are on Facebook on Rawstruck, and we also have a YouTube channel. It's also called Rawstruck, and on Instagram we are rawstruck.fam.
Perfect. Chicos, muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos el día de hoy. Ya tienen una nueva perspectiva de cómo se alimenta de forma natural a los perros en otra parte del mundo. Muchísimas gracias por escucharnos. Aquí estoy poniendo los datos de Rawstruck en Facebook, Instagram, TikTok y la página de internet la pueden encontrar. Muchísimas gracias por compartir. Por favor, si sabes de alguien que quiera alimentar a su perro de forma natural, comparte el video, dale like, síguenos en las redes y recuerda, por más dueños informados y perros felices. Nos vemos a la próxima. Bye.